Hi everyone, Coach Tina here with a review from Thursday's Big Gear Parabolic Intervals. So I have Sarah's account pulled up here. Sarah's been turning everything green, had a great week last week, hit a fantastic FTP test, got her zones correctly inputted, and then has been getting after it this week already. Good day Tuesday, did just a little tiny bit of extra endurance yesterday, and then got after her workout here today. Can already see we got a green check mark, so we know we're on a good amount of time. And I can open this up and again, immediately see like, great, she is going to be right in the zone here. You know, we have numbers that are generally matching up across the board. And fun, a little all-time 90-minute best power here. So let's dig in and take a look. So parabolic, as we were talking about on the Facebook group, you've got, in the way that we're using it here, sort of a little bit of intensity on the front end, then that little bit of a dip of endurance in the middle, and then we bring back the intensity. It's that U shape. And so Sarah did a great job in executing this workout and making sure that she had the energy to hit that backside of the U here with plenty of power and energy. So looking at this, I can scroll down and I can see immediately she did this workout outside, which is fantastic. It's really great to be able to get outside, get practice on your bike, especially doing intervals. It can be a little more challenging to execute intervals outdoors, especially if you're on gravel, then you're accounting for things like terrain, wind, traffic, etc. And that's all part of it. And so when you're executing your workout outdoors, it's never going to look as perfect as those lines and the workout review from Tuesday that Namrita did. You see those sort of perfect boxes from the indoor training. That's really great training. But being able to take this outside and get that practice is so important. So Sarah does an excellent job of getting out there, and you can clearly see she's got this solid warm up. You can see her fast pedals, a little bit of endurance, and then right into the intervals, the recovery and endurance again, second set of intervals, and this bit of cool down, and then this is riding it out back home, I would assume. So again, very clear that she has nailed this workout. If we take a look, just as a reminder, you can position this little white line, your cursor, and click and drag over a section so you can see information just about that section of the workout. So I've selected this first set of intervals, and I actually already went in and clicked add and made this a selection, and it now shows up right here. So I can click on that. And I can see her normalized power was 144, her average power was 144, heart rate was 133, cadence was 68 RPMs. So I have that information right here just for this section. And I can take that and then take a look at that in comparison to her second set of intervals. So again, her power average 144, heart rate 133 for this first set. When I look at the second set, and I just dragged it from, where she did her intervals to the end here, power 143, heart rate 132. They are essentially identical. And if we go ahead and look down here, we can see she's right in her tempo zone. Remembering too that we have those 30-second breaks throughout this, those little micro pauses. So she's landed right in her tempo zone. This is exactly what we want to see in the power by zones here. Just a little bit of time from the cool down and the warm up in zone 2, and she had a little extra as she finished the workout. And the bulk of the time here in endurance and tempo, very little time, anything harder than that today. A little bit in the spin up there maybe. But really all of our time, we want to focus in these two zones. So she's done that really well. You want that zone 2 and that zone 3 in your power to be the high points of this little power by zones chart. So if I come back up here and look to, you might look at this and say, oh, she's got some dips or some spikes or whatnot in there. And yeah, that's true. But when I look at this, okay, so if I click on this and I highlight this section here, section in blue is now highlighted, this 2-minute section. I can go back down and look at her map. And the section that I have highlighted will show up on the map as a little light blue bit. So you can see the whole route here is in dark blue. Section I have highlighted is in light blue. And I can see, oh, hey, she was making a turn here. So no wonder her power came down a bit. She might have been looking out for traffic, might have been turning on gravel. There might have been an animal, who knows? But she's, clearly that's a reason that you might slow down. She probably has another one right here in this this tight little U bend. And that's what happens outside. If you can find a route where you can avoid crossing major highways, having a bunch of stoplights, everything like that, that's ideal. That's great. But sometimes those things are going to pop up. And what she does really well, when I come back up here, is every time one of those happens, like she has to take a little pause here, crossing a major road, she comes back and comes right back into her tempo. Only once did she ever come back and sort of spike her power up on the way back. And sometimes you just start back up and that's what happens. But time and time and time again, when she starts, she hits it right back into her tempo zone. She's never trying to do some kind of, big compensation for being paused for just a second or two. So that's excellent. Really, really well written. When I take a look at her heart rate, I can see too, as we talked about, it's really steady across both these intervals, comes down nicely for the endurance. And you can even see, as she takes these little pauses, her heart rate comes down and recovers, comes back up for that time and tempo, comes back down for that pause. Again, it's always going to be a few seconds after the pause. Your heart rate's a trailing indicator, as Namrita talked about on Tuesday. But she has those nice little pauses, and she even on here where her power doesn't come down quite as far, she still gets that little heart rate drop. So that's great. And then the last thing we'll take a quick peek at is cadence. She has some really nice high cadence spin ups here. This first bit of endurance before her intervals, her cadence is sitting up here at 91 RPMs. Great. And then these tempo intervals were at a lower cadence. And as we looked at when we selected these, here's that first interval, her cadence is 68. So that's pretty low. And if your knees can take that, fantastic. That's good to work. The only thing I would say is for these little 30-second rests, and we will see this work out again, these little 30-second rests, try to spin your cadence back up. And you can see she does try to get up there a little bit on some of these. And in some cases, the train may have been hard to do that, but you see her trying to get up above 80 on these. That's great. Just helps spin out the legs a little bit as you take that rest. Just shift into an easier gear, spin the legs easy for 30 seconds, and then you're right back at it. Overall, fantastic workout. Excellent day out there today, Sarah. And the last thing I'll mention is we did note that there was that peak power. I'll say again, I know we've mentioned this. You can see that down here. Here's that all-time peak performance note. I can see it's for an hour and a half. So basically from her first fast pedal out to the end of her second set of tempo intervals. And if I wanted to go and look, I can click that compare button and actually see Sarah's power 90 minutes of all time, see what those numbers are. And I could also take a look at other time frames. I could take a look at, by year, anything like that. So this is a handy little chart to be able to look at peak power pretty easily. That is all I have for today. Sarah, again, congratulations. Excellent workout. Hope everyone has a wonderful upcoming weekend and has a great long race sim day on Saturday. Thanks, everyone.